Today I want to talk about trust and some of the dilemmas around trust. I recently finished reading The 7 Rules of Trust. This is a book by Jimmy Wales, who is the founder, or some say the co-founder, of Wikipedia. In this book, Wales outlines what he believes are the 7 guiding principles that organizations should follow if they want to maintain trust with their audience, customer base, or whoever their constituents are. I want to say overall, I think this is a really good book. I enjoyed reading it. I think Wales is a good writer. It made me reflect on what behavior I want to espouse in order to build trust for myself and for other organizations that I may work in. But in describing some of those guiding principles, I believe Wales raises certain dilemmas around trust that go unanswered in the book. In today's episode, I want to talk about one of those sections. One of the rules that Wales believes organizations should follow in order to maintain trust is preserving independence and neutrality. Wales has an entire chapter dedicated to this rule, as he does with his other rules, and I'm going to read the rule out loud. This is his 6th rule, so very close to the end of the book, and the chapter is titled The Virtue of Independence, and the rule is, rule number 6, you have a mission, stick to it, and don't take sides in the disputes of others pursuing their own missions. I think intuitively this makes sense. When you're building an organization, it's important to not get distracted by the problems that you are not trying to solve. I think this is true even outside of organizational building. I think this is true for projects, goals, whatever. If you have a focus, you should stay on that focus. Now, the topic of neutrality can manifest in many different ways. However, in this book, Wales specifically refers to it in the political context. There are several ways he demonstrates this. I mean, the chapter itself opens up with him talking about his analysis of Jeff Bezos choosing to not endorse a political candidate in the 2024 election. But a lot of the studies that he uses to further his argument also focus on neutrality in the context of politics and policy. And I want to start by talking some of the studies because I think they are very counterintuitive and interesting, but they are also what raise those questions that I'll get into in a bit. Wales attempts to make the argument that taking a political stance or ignoring neutrality is always bad for the organization when it comes to trust building. He cites a study in which researchers were examining what was the financial or trust impact to an institution when they took a political side. And in most cases, the study demonstrated that they either took a financial hit through their stocks going down or customers buying stuff less because they trusted the organization less. But what was interesting in those studies were which customer bases were annoyed. So intuitively, you would think that the group that disagrees with the policy stance would lose trust in an organization. But what these studies actually showed was that almost everyone lost trust in the organization. To further this study, the researchers polled a bunch of people about which organizations they felt they trusted the most. And these tended to be either like political groups or nonprofits or what have you. And what they found in this polling was that typically like nature groups were the most trusted. People trusted like the National Park Rangers or the Sierra Club or something like that. But after collecting that initial trust metric or rating on all these organizations, they would tell the people they're polling that the organization donated to a specific political group. Maybe they donated to the Trump campaign or they donated to the Biden campaign. What they found was that trust almost always went down regardless of which political side you were on. So if you were a Trump supporter and you were told that an organization you trusted donated for Trump, they found that those people's trust in that organization also went down. And the same way with the other side of the political spectrum. This is a bit of a tangent, but the study did find that there was one political group or part of the spectrum that did improve trust with an organization when an organization took the stance, and that was fringe groups. So if an organization took a more conservative stance, then their trust with far-right groups tended to increase. And same thing with the left. If they took a more left position, then only members of the far left would increase their trust with that organization. In outlining all this, Wales concludes that taking a political stance is almost always bad. It never makes sense. It doesn't help with the people that you want to support. It doesn't help with the people that already disagree with you. It's just always a bad idea if your aim is to build trust with a certain group of people. But this is where I start developing some questions. My first question is, if taking a political stance for an organization is always bad, then who in society is supposed to take a political stance? Who is supposed to represent a policy position, or who is supposed to protect a certain group of people? And probably the most simple, although I would argue naive answer to this is the people are supposed to, right? The voters, the constituents are supposed to build grassroots movements and get their policy positions across the finish line. But this in itself is somewhat paradoxical, right? In order to have any sort of policy or political action be successful, you need to form coalitions and organizations, and ultimately those organizations are going to be politically motivated. They're going to have a political agenda. So is it even possible to live in this world where no organization takes a political stance or a political side? And this leads to my next question, which does this mean that no political organization can really be trusted? If only people are supposed to take political stances and people form organizations, then those organizations inherently have a political agenda. And if you are arguing that any organization without a political agenda cannot be really trusted or should not be trusted, then we cannot trust any political organization. And I think there's a cohort of people, and I wouldn't be surprised if a large cohort of people, that would argue, yeah, that is the conclusion, that any political organization should not be fully trusted or should be critically evaluated. And I think that's probably a fair assessment. Any sort of nonprofit, think tank, or NGO that has some sort of political alignment, well, you should keep that in mind whenever you're evaluating that organization. But I want to take a step back now because I believe both of these questions and this overall assessment of how organizations should operate in today's political environment are an unrealistic understanding of today's political environment. I believe what Wales is arguing is that organizations shouldn't put themselves into politics. This was probably an apt lesson taken from the 2010s when a lot of organizations were promoting certain social causes or getting involved into politics. However, I feel as though that dynamic has now shifted and that less and less are organizations putting themselves into politics because they realize that it doesn't help them, but instead they are getting pulled into politics against their will, and oftentimes by bad faith actors. I'm going to use a current example for this, and I understand from the get-go there's going to be an irony in this because I'm going to break away from my neutrality. But I've also never pretended that I am a neutral person. I am not. Also, I'm not an organization, nor do I represent one. A recent example of organizations being pulled into politics have been demonstrated time and time again by the Department of Defense, or the Department of War, as Pete Hegseth calls it. The Department of Defense has pulled organizations into politics because of disagreements on ideology, really, more than anything. One example has been Scouting America has been pulled into politics because Pete Hegseth and the Department of Defense disagreed with some of its more inclusive language and aims of the organization. Another instance was the Department of Defense labeling Anthropic as a supply chain risk. This was done after Anthropic refused to allow their AI to be used for surveilling American citizens and for the use of killing individuals. In a normal instance, this would be a disagreement on product uses, the contract wouldn't be signed, and that would have been it. Instead, this became a whole media fiasco with both sides publishing videos, tweets, articles accusing the other side of malpractice or unfairness. Now, in Wales' defense, he does argue that organizations should break from neutrality when they are personally involved in a political action. The example he uses is, let's say Congress is trying to pass a bill that would reduce funding for research grants for universities. Then universities do have an obligation to break from their neutrality, and doing so may not actually hurt their trust with the public. But what Wales is really arguing here is when policymakers go after a class, not an organization. In this example, Congress isn't going after a specific organization, they're going after all universities. But what we're seeing in current events is more comparable to Congress passing a bill specifically attacking Harvard or specifically attacking Yale. But when political groups go after a single organization as they currently are, then they are no longer just going after a class. And it's actually easier for other organizations in that class to not get involved. If the Department of Defense went after all youth organizations, then all youth organizations could form a class and they could stand up for each other together. But when they only go after Scouting for America, every other youth organization just says, oh, well, we're not Scouting for America. That's not our organization. Our mission isn't to develop scouts. Our mission is, we're the YMCA. Our mission is to build community events and have an after-school place for kids to hang out. I did go to the YMCA as a kid, but I have no idea what they do anymore. We almost saw this class form during the Anthropic debacle when other companies like Google and OpenAI started to band together. But Sam Altman proved to us that game theory does work, and the whole structure quickly fell apart. And he swooped in and took the contracts away from Anthropic. And ultimately what I believe is that Wales's model for how organizations should maintain neutrality actually encourages this very individualistic dog-eat-dog world. You can choose to stay neutral, but eventually bad faith actors will come after you if they find you to be an inconvenience in any shape, way, or form. I do understand where Wales is coming from because a lot of us are now retroactively analyzing the 2010s and the social movements that took place there. And during that time, we did see a almost annoying amount of what I would describe as omni-causes, where almost everyone was kind of coalescing into a single thought bubble, and every organization and company felt like they needed to contribute to that thought bubble. Like Pepsi making that ad about protesters was pretty weird. And in retrospect, I'm sure they would like you to forget that they ever did that. But I think when we're discussing neutrality, it is important that we remember where we draw the lines of what involves us and what doesn't involve us. If the Department of Defense is going after Scouting for America, I would expect other youth organizations to get involved in defending them. If a political organization went after Wikipedia, I would expect other encyclopedia companies, is that just like Britannica, to go and defend Wikipedia. The point is that we shouldn't wait one at a time for each organization to fall until it impacts us directly to do anything about it. I'm not saying we should get involved in every political fight, and I know I can't do that anymore, but we should keep in mind who our close friends are and come to their help when they need it, because one day it might be us.